especially our son Raider, who was placed with us in foster care when he was 11 years old. My husband and I signed up for foster care. We really felt called that this was something that God was calling us to do, that we had the opportunity and availability, a house and empty rooms to be able to provide for a child. And so we signed up for foster care, and about 2 weeks later, Raider was living in our house. We found out we were pregnant the night before he came to live with us. So it was an exciting adventure that year, having 2 children. We were instant parents for the first time to a 6th grader, and Raider is now 17. We adopted him about 8 months later, and so he has been in our family for 6 years. And we've been doing these events, and one of the first times we did the event, our testimonial that we had set up fell through. And so I pulled Raider aside in the back room and said, "Do you think you could speak?" And he did so great, I said, "Now you have the job." And since then, Raider's been speaking all around the city, and he's a very popular celebrity now, speaking at lots of different events, because what he has and what we wanted to share with you today, we've gotten a state-level view just across the state from the government perspective. We've also gotten a county's view, and we thought it was important to give you a kid's view in all of this. And just as we think about caring for orphans and what that looks like, and how we can make a difference in our churches, in our communities, in ourselves, and with children, what it means to the children who are being affected by it. So I'm going to ask Raider to come up and kind of share his story and share a kid's view of the foster care.
I'm Raider. I was 11. I had been in foster care since about 6.5, taken from my parents. Couldn't really take care of me. So I got moved around about 8 times. And for the kid, when you're 6, 7, you don't really know what's going on. They tell you, "Oh, you're going to go on vacation with this other family." So you're like, "Okay, yay, more friends to play with, new people." You're okay with it. You don't really think about it. Well, sooner or later you start thinking, well, where's my mom and dad? Where's my family? And you kind of act like the people you're living with is family. But they don't feel like a family. They say they love you and all that stuff, but you never know if they actually mean it. So as you move on, as I got older, at 8, 9, you start realizing I'm stuck. That unless one of these families wants me and takes care of me, I'm on my own. So as more and more foster kids came into the houses and left, you start feeling, when is my time? So after so long, after about age 9, you start having a bag always ready. Because at any time, social worker can come in and say, "We don't think you are fit for this home, we're going to leave." So you have 5 minutes to pack up as much stuff as you can and you're out. Yeah. And they have houses where they're called permanent houses, where they can become adoption houses, but they're mostly meant for long terms until they can find somebody better, or actually see like this family. So I had one family I was in with 2 years, and the rules are really strict. So it's always hard with the family because they feel like they have to control every little thing, and if you slip up, something could happen to them. So I had one home. I got moved from my 2-year home. I got put in a temporary home. Temporary home is pretty much here, live here for however long, a week, day, month, year, however long, until we can find somebody that's better suited for you. And caseworkers come and go, but I always wanted, for me personally, that one person I could always talk to. You never feel comfortable because like they don't know. They always say, "Oh, you can always talk to us. We know what's going on. Yeah, you can read my case file, all the stuff that's happened to me, all the stuff." But you never know how it's affecting me. You don't know what I know. You don't know how it feels to be left. And the family gatherings, every time in the family, when you first come in, the first family gathering, you always feel awkward. You don't know anybody, nobody knows you, and you have the awkward moments where it's like, they're like, "So who's this?" It's like, "Oh, this is my foster son." They don't say, "Oh, this is my son," or "This is my child." They say foster first. So you never feel totally at home. So, moving around a lot, I have a sister that's in foster care. Shortly after we got put in, we got separated. So the one true person I had in my family was gone. And they try to keep you together, but they can't always keep you together. Some families can only take one kid, some families can only take certain type of kids, certain ages, and stuff like that. So it's really hard for me, because it's like, I don't know my sister anymore. I haven't seen her in a few years. So you never know where she's located, where she's housed, or anything. You don't know if the family she has is good or bad. She was lucky, she had 2 families that she's gone through. The first one that we could put together, and then her second one that she moved to later. Well, 8 homes, it's actually a lot. It's hard when you're older, because you're just thinking, oh, it's just another house, you don't get attached. But it's always hard for that one house that you're in so long that you get attached. And then out of nowhere, you get ripped out. So I understand where the kids that have been through 5, 6, some kids I know have been through 12 homes. And they're rebellious. And that's understandable. If any of you got just snatched out of your family and had to live in a new family, you would be too. If you never knew anybody else, I've been all over California, Fairfield, Vacaville, all that stuff. I got up one day, had to move, new school, new everything, no friends, no nothing. So you have to learn how to hide your feelings, hide what you're showing, and try to make friends with people. Not always the easiest because, oh, you're the new kid. Nobody knows you, nobody cares about you, and it's just so hard because you don't know what to do. And then as you get older, there's that home that you feel somewhat comfortable in. So you try to do whatever you can. You don't tell them when you have any problems, you don't tell them anything. You just try to act happy and make it so you're their perfect little child. Because that's what you think they want. They want a kid that they never gets in trouble, never does anything wrong, and that can always be trusted. And with me, it's hard because with families that you don't know, and people you don't know, and it's hard because with friends, you can't spend nights at friends' houses, because unless somebody from the state or county or whatever service you're in checks out their family, because they could be harmful to you. So it just feels bad because like I have to live my life around what they say, what they do. You can't go on vacation, you can't do anything like that. You can never have those childhood memories that you always loved. And I have like 6 pictures of me from the age of 6 till 11. And that's the yearly pictures I got with my turn. That's all I have for my kids. Nobody in my family has pictures of me. Nobody really knew me. And so I never get to look at those baby shots everybody loves to look at. I never had that. I never had, I have a little brother and sister. I never had their tooth fairy. I never knew about the tooth fairy. When I lost my tooth, we just threw it away. It's a lost tooth. No big deal. And Santa Claus and all that stuff. You never had Santa Claus, and most foster homes, you're lucky if you get a Christmas present. A lot of foster programs, the EMQ and all them, they'll give every kid a present. So you think, oh, I'm getting a present, it's a happy, happy day. You're like, okay, one person cares about me. So what am I going to do now? They're not taking me in, they're not doing anything. Your caseworkers, when they come in, they have to check you to make sure you have no bruises, no nothing. And every little thing is nitpicked. Make sure they're not doing anything wrong. Being a guy, you get bumps and bruises all the time. And they ask you countless questions like, how'd you do this, when did you do this, and all that stuff. And they just pick out every little thing. I'm a very, very clumsy kid. I have bruises, I've broken bones just randomly. And they always had questions about that because you think, oh, they're beating you and they're just saying, if you tell, you leave, and you want to stay. But I don't know any kid that would get beaten and want to stay in the home. Honestly, I wouldn't. I would hate to have to stay in a home that does not treat me right, and does not love me. There's homes when I was little that they watch you, like they'll watch you when you play and stuff. They don't really care. They'll send you on their way, and they never really get attached. And some foster homes I've noticed are in it for the money. You get so much money every month for school supplies, clothing, food for the kid. And a lot of times you don't get anything from it. You won't ever see anything go new to you. You'll have old clothes, old shoes, everything. Or things get donated to you. Some foster care program, they donate clothing, shoes, whatever, for foster kids, and you get those. You never get the nice new clothes. You always, and people notice when you come to school in the same outfit every week. So, for me at age 11, I came and I lived with Mike and Sandy. And I met him first, kind of hung out for, like, we went to pizza, and we just hung out. They said, I'm like, okay, this is a pretty nice family. Okay. So they bring me in, and you kind of have to get used to it first. You're really cautious in the beginning because you don't know rules, you don't know anything, and any little slip up, they could be like, well, we can't take care of you. So you're so cautious. And after a while, they said that they were going to adopt. I've heard it before. It didn't really mean anything at the time. It's like, unless somebody can prove that I'm going to be adopted, I don't care. Because I've had families where like, oh, we're thinking about adopting, we might adopt. They never said you're going to. They said those words, loopholes. And Mike and Sandy said they are going to. I'm like, okay. As time went on, they set the date and everything, and I'm like, okay, this is actually going to happen. And the day I was adopted was probably the happiest day of my life, because I actually had a family that I could call my own. And with Senator Runner, Grandma, since I first lived with them, they called me family. And for once, I actually had my own family, my own home, and my own place to call it my own. And now I've lived for about 6 years. I've never had any problems like having adjustment issues because they actually call me their own. They never said foster. Everybody knows me as their son. And if you guys can do anything, because I've had friends who aren't adopted that I've actually emancipated out, and it's hard. And for the older kids, you don't know what's going to happen the next day. And younger kids do need to get adopted, but older kids do too. And you don't have to adopt, but anything you can do would help. So thank you for all coming.